Come in. Welcome to the Smut Den. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Today I am very excited to announce the next round of 72 hours in the Smut Den. The 72-hour readathon is something that the late night crew came up with last year. They did 72 hours in the Smut Den, and this is hosted and created by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy, Mel from Eleanor Reads, and Rye from Rye's Reading Corner. And they always bring on a couple of co-hosts, and so for this round it is going to be me and Michelle from Michelle's Library that will be joining the late night crew for the 72 hours of chaos. Essentially, we're just going to read smut all weekend long. This readathon is taking place from May 25th to May 28th. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and will end on the 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We are doing it Memorial Day weekend, so that way we have a day to recover before having to go back to work, because we will be staying up late, we will be doing sprints, it's going to be a good time. Just like in past readathons, we will be doing 2 spinner wheels. One of them is for the lighter, more contemporary style romance, and one is for the darker romance. I will go over the prompts in a minute, but we're going to talk about a couple of other things, some rules first, and then we will talk about the prompts that are on the spinner wheels. But the links for everything will be down below. Essentially what you will do is you will spin the wheel and you will get your prompt. You will have, across the entire weekend, 3 respins. So if you get a prompt that you didn't want or a prompt that you didn't want to read for, you can respin, but you only get 3 for the whole weekend. We did add a new rule this year where if you spin the exact same spot 3 times in a row, you can respin it without having to use one of your respins. Just in case the spinner wheel really wants you to have a certain prompt, you can respin it without having to use one. Or you can just do it 3 times in a row. Either way. We will have sprints on all 5 of our channels throughout the weekend, so I have everybody linked down below. If you're not subscribed to everybody, you definitely should turn on notifications. There's also going to be a Discord channel that's part of the late night crew, so then that way we'll also be able to announce sprints there, but the best way is just to subscribe to everybody and turn on notifications. As far as what you are reading, it can be whatever, traditionally published, indie published. If you think it counts, it counts. Use your best judgment. The only stipulation is that it has to have some smut, right? We are entering the Smut Den. This is not the weekend for the closed door romances. In past 72-hour readathons, the prompts have all been part of the book, so like tropes or something like that. This year we're going to do it a little bit differently, and we are doing solely on the cover, so it'll make it a lot easier for you to find books, and it'll make it easier for you to like see if it counts, right? Because everything's going to be on the cover. You don't have to guess what's inside the book. So let's talk about the prompts for the light wheel first. The first one is an illustrated cover that is super popular amongst traditionally published romance, where it's a super smutty book, but it doesn't look like it because it has a cutesy illustrated cover. The Brown Sisters are a perfect example of this. Also the Spoiler Alert series by Olivia Dade. The next one is an animal on the cover. This one might be a little bit harder, but I feel like in a lot of contemporary romances, they always have a cat or a dog or something like that, even a bird. Anything, really, it counts, as long as it's an animal. The next prompt is a blue cover, so something that is predominantly blue. The next prompt is a 3+ word title, so there are a lot of things that could work for that. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, or its sequel, Hook, Line, and Sinker. 4 words. The next prompt is the couple on the cover. A lot of the traditionally published romances have the couple on the cover, whether it's illustrated or not. The next one is a little bit harder, but it's definitely a trend in romances this year, and that is yellow font for the title. The next prompt is a building on the cover. It could be a house, it could be a cityscape, whatever, a building. The next prompt is cursive font. Another trend that we're seeing quite a bit is that like scripty font rather than the bold blocky letters. The next prompt is an object on the cover. Doesn't matter what object, just some sort of inanimate object. And then the last one is just a wild space. So if you get that, you get lucky, you can read whatever you want. Now moving on to the dark wheel. The first prompt is hands on the cover, or a hand on the cover. I feel like that's very popular in some of the darker romances as seen here. The next one is just a primarily black cover. I feel like that is super easy with a lot of dark romances. But on the flip side, a white cover. The next prompt is a one-word title. That might be a little bit difficult, but things like the Emily McIntyre Never After series all have one-word titles, so that would be great. The next prompt is red font for the title. Another really popular trend among dark romance books. Then, of course, we had to throw it back to the classic and go with shirtless man on the cover because why wouldn't we? The next prompt is creature on the cover, and this is for all of you monster romance loving folks. This one's gonna be fun. I actually have a couple of books like set aside for this. I'm very excited about. The next prompt is a discreet cover. So a lot of books that used to have the shirtless man on the cover now have the discreet cover. Sierra Simone's series has done that. Sophie Lark has done that with both her Brutal Prince and her There Are No Saints duology. So there's lots of options for that. And then we will have a wild space for the Dark Wheel as well, so you can read whatever you want. This is going to be such a fun weekend. I have all of the things linked down below. There's a Google Doc with all of the information and all of the links for the spinner wheels and things like that. There's also going to be an Etsy shop with these absolutely wonderful bookmarks that Cassidy designed, and they will be shipped to you. We're hoping to have enough time to be able to get these to you prior to the start of the readathon, so you have it for the 72 hours. There's also going to be an Instagram challenge, so stay tuned for that as well. We'll have prompts for like pictures or stories or things like that for you to do, as well as, you know, all of the reading that's gonna happen. I've already decided I'm gonna make a whole smut den here. It's gonna be a good time. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. I'm very excited to, you know, stay up late and read all the smut. That's what I'm going to do all weekend. Let me know it down in the comments below if you plan on participating in 72 hours in the smut den, and drop a recommendation for a romance book down below. If you're not feeling chatty, you can do a rose emoji. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button down below that you can do that. And if you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are all linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.